The former Miss Great Britain co-hosted BBC Breakfast Time with Frank Bow and Selena Scott, the first-class quiz for schoolchildren, the game show Love Me Not and Channel 4's daily consumer show Streetwise. She was a regular on Radio 2 and the face of several shopping channels, including QVC from 2001 until 2013. She has also been married to fellow presenter Paul Koya for 30 years. Now aged 62 and freshly qualified as an independent celebrant, Debbie says, "I hope nobody is put off by the fact they know who I am. The feeling I'm getting is Teresa trust from people who've seen me do various programs. They say things like we used to watch you on Breakfast Time or my mum used to buy everything from you on QVC, so you feel like part of the family. It can make for an easier connection. The alternative is they think I can't stand that Debbie Greenwood, why would we want her at our ceremony? But at least they can eliminate you quite quickly if they don't like you." Yet interestingly, the inspiration for Debbie's new career did come from TV. "I was watching the 2017 BBC drama series Love, Lies and Records with Ashley Jensen as a registrar, and I thought, something like that might be a nice job. There seemed to be an overlap to what I'd done on telly. After years of warming people up for interviews and getting the best out of them in an interview situation, it's a bit like that. You meet the families beforehand and need to make them come. So does this mean Debbie is now done with presenting? I have given it up in the sense that I'm not looking for a TV job," she explains. "If something nice comes along I'd do it, but I'm not vying for telly work. I just want an easy life with nice things in it." Debbie is not from a broadcasting background. Her late father Ron was a policeman and mum Rosalie is a retired doctor's receptionist who still lives in Liverpool, where Debbie was born and raised. Aigburth Vale High School alumna Debbie remembers, "I was a horrible swot and Ms. Goody Two-Shoes. As soon as I started learning French at school, I wanted to be an interpreter or a French teacher." She went on to get a degree in French and German from Liverpool Poly and now she sometimes teaches English. However, Debbie had a sideline as a beauty queen. "In 1979 my boyfriend's mum spotted an article in the Liverpool Echo asking for entrance to Miss Liverpool and she suggested I have a go. I thought it was a ridiculous idea and it'd just be making a fool of myself. But my boyfriend Phil talked me into it, saying the first round was just an interview and if I did that he'd take me out to a Burnie Inn for a steak dinner and Black Forest Gâteau. I bought a skirt and blouse from C&A. I had beginner's luck, the rest is history." Over 5 years Debbie won about 50 contests, they were great fun and I made lots of friends. "My best friend, Julie, I met in Miss Liverpool, which I won in 1979. I was a student and the money came in very handy. It also meant you could get into nightclubs for free." When she entered Miss Great Britain in 1984 Debbie was selling advertising for a local free newspaper in Penny Lane. "Had I not won I think I'd have gone back. I was a terrible salesperson though, so I may have moved into the more creative side of advertising or perhaps to an advertising agency. I also might have had the confidence then to try for local radio." Janice Long made that seem possible. Instead, she was crowned in the ballroom of London's Waldorf Hotel. The next morning, on No Sleep and Champagne, I was interviewed on BBC's Breakfast Time. That went quite well, and afterwards they offered me a job. I went home to Liverpool and did an interview with Granada TV, who also offered me a job. So from nothing I got 2 TV offers in 2 days, which was extraordinary and very exciting. I didn't know what had hit me. I took the Granada one because it meant I could stay home. A year later I did Breakfast Time again and they offered me a job again and I accepted. I was very lucky. I didn't drain at all, but I was in the wings for quite a long time before I sat on the red sofa. While shadowing for Breakfast Time I met David Cassidy when he was a guest. I'd been a huge fan, in love with him my whole life. But he wasn't what I imagined and I didn't feel the same after that. You shouldn't meet your idols. Her website states, despite winning Ms. Great Britain, Debbie has had a long and successful career in broadcasting. That's sort of a joke, she explains. I think some of the journalists on Breakfast Time were a bit puzzled by me because I didn't have a journalistic background, and I was very inexperienced. Once they realized that I was eager to learn and was not stupid, they were kind and helpful. I was always glad that I had my degree though, as it was proof I was not there under false pretenses. There weren't so many with regional accents in my day, so the BBC probably thought they were doing their bit by having a Scouser on newsy programs. Of her co-hosts, Debbie says, Selena was lovely, like a big sister to me, and Frank was one of the best broadcasters I've ever worked with. He saw me as a daughter figure. But the job wasn't easy for the green Miss Greenwood. I was very inexperienced. You'd have to wait up really late for your scripts and notes, sometimes till midnight, and you'd have to watch Newsnight to be au fait with what was going on. I'd get up at 3 a.m. and go to the studio. For the press I was a novelty. 1 minute they'd be praising me and the next they'd be writing terrible things. An elephant once ate my script on Breakfast Time. And I remember reporting outside Buckingham Palace on Andrew and Fergie's wedding, doing a live piece to camera. I put my coat down by the cameraman, and someone stole it and ran off. I couldn't do anything about it. Debbie's interviewees included a young Tom Hanks and a newlywed Elton John, to Granada. But they weren't all fun. I got sent to No. 10 to interview Mrs. Thatcher. I went with a load of scouts as it was Bob a job week. She was absolutely terrifying and couldn't be bothered. The idea was she should encourage people to be entrepreneurs. She gave them a Dundee cake to raffle, and I thought of all the prizes you could have donated. The other women I found scary were Barbara Cartland and Fanny Craddock. They don't necessarily take well to you when you're a young female in telly with a questionable background, not being a proper journalist and having recently been Ms. Great Britain. When I interviewed Zandra Rhodes, she actually fell asleep. I took it as either I was being boring or she felt particularly relaxed in my company. Asking Prunella Scales about her first date with actor Timothy West, I said, "Did you snog?" And everyone was horrified. I met Prince Philip at Kensington Palace for the Duke of Edinburgh Awards. I'm not a royalist, but when he entered the room I was tongue-tied. I managed a feeble joke, Debbie, and I heard you always wanted to meet me. Thankfully he did laugh. I always loved Paul McCartney. I met him when he won an award for We All Stand Together. I was sitting at a table thinking, oh my gosh, I'm in the same room as Paul McCartney. When he was leaving with Linda, he did a little detour and came to the table I was on and said hello. I was really starstruck and said Debbie, and he went, yeah I know, I've got all your records. So I loved him even more. That was the highlight of anything to me. Debbie left after 18 months on Breakfast Time. They wanted to revamp the show and get rid of the sitting on the sofa with a cup of vibe. They made Frank get rid of his famous jumpers and wear a sports jacket. My replacement was Jeremy Paxman. I remember him coming in one morning to shadow me. I was very honored, although he was very tall and not able to hear anything I said. When I left, they gave me a section of the show's red sofa and I've still got it in a spare bedroom. Among Debbie's subsequent shows was Tricks of the Trade on BBC Two in 1987, on which she met Scottish TV star Paul Coyle, who had made his name on the BBC's Pebble Mill at 1. He'd seen him on telly and thought he looked dishy, but when he turned up in a yellow cardigan I thought, I don't fancy him. Yet within 15 seconds I was thinking, I wish I'd washed my hair this morning. I was smitten early on, I must admit. They became something of a celebrity couple, co-hosting several shows on TV and radio and guesting on many more, although they drew the line at Channel 4 reality series Wife Swap in the noughties. They wed in October 1992 and went on to have daughters Annalie, now 27, and Louisa, 24, who both work in marketing. What is happening where you live? Find out by adding your postcode or visit in your area. I'm very glad they didn't go into telly because it's not a secure business. It's very fickle, Debbie says. Paul and I have been very lucky, but most people aren't and don't have the longevity we've had. The second half of Debbie's small screen career was mostly spent selling everything from handbags and bedding to cameras and chocolate. We had quite a lot of celebrity guests on, including Susan Boyle, David Hasselhoff, and Marie Osmond. Joan Rivers had a jewelry range and I loved those shows because you never knew what she would say next. It was fun working on shopping TV, but there was a lot of pressure. Not only did you appear live for 3 hours with no script, no auto cue, and no rehearsal, you also had the pressure of sales targets. Yet Debbie's sunny nature and smile are undiminished. Although delighted to have now joined the UK's 4,000 celebrants, she said she will not officiate at funerals, interments and memorials. I decided not to do the funeral training. I'm too emotional to be helpful at such a sad time. Yet Debbie's sunny nature and smile are undiminished. Although delighted to have now joined the UK's 4,000 celebrants, she said she will not officiate at funerals, interments and memorials. I decided not to do the funeral training. I'm too emotional to be helpful at such a sad time. Living with Paul in a smart detached house with 5 bedrooms and a nice garden in southwest London, and a holiday home in Portugal, Debbie adds, "I'd really like the celebrant thing to work out, but I'm not really doing it for the money. I'm just thinking of it being something lovely to do that you also incidentally get paid for. I'm at a stage when I'm conscious life is short, so I want to relish things that I do and enjoy my family."